Alright, let's continue let's begin our second day of trial. Hey Nick, what is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. I mean, okay, is the mask is famous? Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? We are here for the trial next door. What? Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? Ah, they are having Detective Atme's trial today. Detective Atme? They say they are going to try him as Mask the Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Mask the Mask's trial. Go there then. I know. By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me. We are ignoring him. Or her. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please, don't ignore me. Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Don't say that, idiot. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that can't be right. A thief can't really be poor. Well, you could. A bad thief. Now let's see. According to Mr. Delight, thank you for the thing, for the refresher. From his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there is a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible, but today's trial is a race against a clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Huh? Because of Damascus trial? We have to prove that he is Mask the Mask. October 14, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 6. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Come on. Okay, settle down everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Gadot. Ugh, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. That doesn't mean anything. I am afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Gadot. Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. No coffee? That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot, please call your first witness. The detective comes to. Go. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best. 17 is too much, by the way. Mr. Godot, your witness? Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. Can I trust this guy? Oh, apparently I have no choice. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Ha! You've got guts, right? Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. So he will. Go. You did it, didn't you? Yes. Incredible. What? No. That's not true. He stole it, is what he thinks. 1 second. Right. That's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home. No, you can't. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. Just refuse to testify. Well, whatever. My visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 AM, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. Pretty suspicious, that's the time he died. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I had been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. Okay. 1 AM, the exact time the murder took place. Another coffee. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Go. Ha! It's bitter today too, just like my destiny. You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down. Yeah. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Cross-examination, my visit to KB Security. Screw yourself. Because this is a bad testimony. That evening around 1 AM, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. Hold it. 1 AM, huh? You are absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Yeah, we also have the record of your keycard, so. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also a bit... 1 AM. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. What coffee date? Blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. Hold it. It ordered you there. It was the first time I had gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course, they'd say things like take that or steal that. Ahaha! Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say anymore. Now, what should I do? Now, what do I do? Okay, come on, spelling. Press harder, please. So, what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait. I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. Yes, sir. Ha! A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Yeah, it's bad. The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Why? Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask the mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me. He didn't. Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me. So that's why Miss Delight didn't believe he was Mask the Mask. That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. I had been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. Hold it. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. A security chief? You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Why he was fired? That's the important thing. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well... The world is filled with those who have asked, who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Oh, okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question. I needed money. You needed money? Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough. So, I stole data from the company. Oh, that's pretty bad. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. Wah! I wish I had never asked that. Great. I was somehow able to keep it a secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company. Is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. What? I want to ask the other thing. There was another one, life after being fired or something, right? Why can't I ask that now? That's right. And yet, that's it. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. Hold it. Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste. So Miss Delight doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem. I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other. I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples. Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. There wasn't much to his testimony, was there? Sounds like he's avoiding something. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh. I've got a bad feeling about this. We'd better be careful. Yeah, oh. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, there's a problem. He's saying Mr. Bullard had nothing on him, but obviously he did. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask thing or the data stealing thing.
Objection!
Objection, yes. Tisk. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore. What do you mean? The victim had no proof. The defendant was masked. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year ago. But that was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later. Is that really true? What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became public knowledge. Yes, he would. Desi would know. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Ha! Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. Great. We are growing him. That's exactly right. You're trying to grow Mr. Delight. Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo. Little lawyer amigo. Right. Yes, now come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. His wife is the evidence. Coffee? Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Hates criminals and cowards more than anything. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret. Gulp. A certain person. Yep. Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. But listen to me. My Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Grr, Gadot. Yes, we know it was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habits, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, No, everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry. Great, incredible. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. Ugh. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We are all ears. And he will. Witness testimony at the CEO's office. He's gonna screw himself even more. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. It looks like frickin'... If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. It looks like frickin'... what's his name? Atomy. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Mask Demask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atomy turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Ha! No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. I never go easy. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Press him. At the CEO's office. Cross-examination. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Suspicious shadow there. Can't speak sometimes. Certain words. Who was this suspicious... Suspicious shadow. If there were 1,000 of me, and if even one knew, I'd tell you, trust me. His dodging all of our questions is not helping us win his case. Okay, then how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? What do I think? Forget it. Great, he doesn't know. Suddenly I was hit on the head, on the forehead. After that I remember being a bit dazed. Your forehead? Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking. Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. Right. Don't hit your client. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. You were wearing something on your forehead. The costume, perhaps? Pat, could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why? My Mask de Mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Mask de Mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask de Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. Great. Seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? Ha! My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Mask de Mask costume. Why were you dressed up as Mask de Mask? Why? Because I'm Mask de Mask, of course. Well, what are you talking about? Mask de Mask's trial is being held next door. Ah, yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Mask de Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I had expected. Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? Press harder. What do you mean by it took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. What was that? Back up a second. Yes? You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? The dot. Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. You mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he is the murderer? Ha! So you are not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. Not really. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Because you're not a freaking lawyer. Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony. Yes, sir. Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. Great. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. But first, when I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. You should push that. When you came to? Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room. Do you know when your assailant made their escape and to where? I am afraid I don't really remember. Huh? Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape. Ha! That's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it? It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practiced. I don't know why you're telling me. I practiced with him. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in the drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it. Ha! I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense. Nah. Hold on. 10 minutes? What is it, Nick? I just had a thought. 10 minutes. 10 minutes what? Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it? There was something in the safe that he took. Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were? That's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence. We heard this from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we? There's not much in this testimony either. I betcha he's still hiding something. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him. I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated. He will. Oh, the alarm! The alarm was going off.
Objection!
Yeah, why would you waste time? Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. You understood. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. Well, what? If Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Objection!
Objection. Ha! Let's remember who we are dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. He was the chief.
Objection!
Oh no. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
Objection!
Objection back. Slam. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Objection!
Objection. Ha! Again. Remember who we are dealing with here. Oh yes, your visor is steaming. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. Oh, it's insanely loud.
Objection!
This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? Ugh. Coffee? Coffee time? Fine, let's hear your theory. Yep. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I am willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted. That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right, whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. Oh, order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is...
Objection!
Ma'am. This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane Bullard. No, not true. And yeah, it makes sense. Then he would kill someone, right? The other person is knocked out right next to him. Push the buzzer. The guard comes in and be like, oh shit. The boss is dead, the other guy is lying here. He probably killed the boss, right?
Objection!
Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Ah! Is it possible? Give me the autopsy report. Cerebral hemorrhaging, bro. He's dead. So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Presenting evidence? Brain hemorrhaging? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I can prove it with the thing? I think so. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Cerebral hemorrhaging. Fun. Well, what do you think, Mr. Godot? Ha! I can hear it. The sound of a buzzer. Huh? It's going off inside your head at this very moment. The emergency buzzer of your heart. Is it really? Maybe just a little. Mr. Wright, you need to think more carefully. Great. Oof! Guess there goes your chance to become an ace detective. Come, listen more carefully. Maybe the truth will be elegantly revealed. Creepy. You sound like Detective Atomy. Opinion is this. Okay, so we do want to show evidence. It wasn't the victim. There are no fingerprints. Victim. Yeah, but that doesn't prove anything. There were no... It is right. I believe that this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. I can't believe it is right. Prove it. The emergency buzzer itself. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I am the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, oh god, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Spat his coffee out. Ron Delight. Obviously he wiped them off. Objection. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. Objection. No, you don't. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Mask Damask. And Mask Damask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Order, order, order. Ha! It would seem I have been forced to eat crow. What? I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer to set him up? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? I don't know. What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Ha! It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks. They're on to you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 AM. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well then. Oh ho, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? To call the security guard, obviously. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. Great. Ha! What a touching story. You are saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, no. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. No, he's steaming. Now he's okay. Phew. Oh no, he's not okay. Order, order, order. Ha! It would seem more coffee time. I have been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only masked mask, so... Nick, you mean the real killer is... We are going to drag that person in here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. It's atomic. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KV security that night. Wait, is it his wife? So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. No, it's probably... It's Delight. It's Atomy now. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Accusation, Mr. Wright. Accusation. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard? Now there is this photo, right? But the photo only says the time. It does not say what day it was. This could be a photo taken earlier to, you know, give him leverage. But yeah, we're gonna say this guy. Ace Detective. Detective Luke Atomy. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective Luke Atomy. You mean Mask the Mask did it? No, no. Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Mask the Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard. Order, order. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder, which is the more serious crime? They are not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday if you would. When Luke at me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, masked a mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty. Mask the Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Mask the Mask was Luke Atme's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi? Why not? Get him here. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we are going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder? Oh, I don't think I do. I do not have proof. Mr. Luke Atme's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If he were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for an appeal. Am I really sure about this? Ha! A bet's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight. So please, I am begging you. Wait. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Well, I can't, that's why I'm saving. Oh, Phoenix. Hello, Mia. Oh, what was that? She back? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice, it sounded like, it sounds like Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Ha! So that's your answer, huh? Very well, I have decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. What the hell? Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atme to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. Boom. Okay, we're getting close. Closer, I should say. October 14, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Oh, courtroom. Oh, it's this guy again. Pain. He. Well, Sir Detective Atme? He's admitting. Heh. I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atomy, you were the one who... Stop it. Oh my god, who the hell are you? Big beardo blonde guy. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant. Look at me. Hold it. Hold it. Wait. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, well, sir lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom. Who's this hoser, eh? Oh, he's Canadian. My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man. Look at me. Accusation? You accuse Mask de Mask? That man is not Mask de Mask. He is just a ruthless murderer. The what? His eyes are so wide. Oh, he's sweating. He's sweating bullets. To be continued. Alright. Saving content. Save up to this point. Please do. Getting interesting. I'll be back out. October 14, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant, Lobby number 4. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then, she's still alive, inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Miss Delight. Is it true that detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definite proof. But he is the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atomy want to kill Kane Bullard? I mean, maybe they were jointly... not sabotaging, what do you mean? They were jointly freaking blackmailing the guy. They were blackmailing my client to steal things. Right? But Kane Bullard was only giving him like a very small portion of the money. And he was keeping the rest for himself. And Luke Atomy didn't like that. So he got himself an alibi as him stealing something and killed the person. I don't know. Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later. Okay, we're back in. October 14, 12:21 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 6. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Atomy, please take the stand. Here he is, smiling as always. Well, well, how do you do, sir lawyer? No. I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Mask de Mask. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Atomy has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I am afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here. You have been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Mask de Mask. Indeed, it is truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses. Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward upon returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are in fact Mask Damask. Red diamond, eh? If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. I think this blackmail letter was supposed to be for... Ah, it was for him. So Kane Bullard was trying to blackmail Luke at me. Luke at me was not having it. I see. Of course. Very well then, Luke at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 am, Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. Great. But don't worry, I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. Coffee time? Alright, Mr. Atme, the night of the murder, speak. But first, must wait for the next episode. See you then.